Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Belinda Ellsworth, and we are continuing today in our goal series. We have been talking about 5 key pillars or areas in your life in which you really want to set goals in. Now, to be perfectly transparent, you're probably not going to want to set goals in all 5 areas at one time. We are going to number these 1 through 5, and then you're only going to focus on the first 2 or 3. As you start to make headway in those throughout the year, you can always start then to look at the other areas. So the reason that we do this is because we want to have more of a well-balanced life. So if all you have is career goals, you'll get 100% focused on your career and you won't add in the other things that are important in your life. So the 5 pillars again are your health, personal growth, or your personal goals, personal growth, your business goals or career goals. It is family or relationships, and it is 5 is community, hobbies, things that you're passionate about or bring you joy outside of all of those other categories. So how to have an additional personal life outside of your career and outside of your family. So this is important to have that well-balanced life. So today is on personal growth. So there's a couple of different areas that you want to be thinking about in personal growth. One is emotional intelligence. There's a variety of different ways that you can get focused on that. And maybe you just want to create more of an awareness of yourself. You want to learn to respond to things better and to people better. So that's kind of what is all involved in emotional intelligence. Developing a greater sense of empathy for others. It is social skills, enhancing those. All of this is sort of wrapped into the category of emotional intelligence. Another category of personal growth is your personal skills, which is developing time management, building new habits, getting rid of those old habits. Organizational skills follows in with this. Learning new hobbies like a cooking class or let's see what else we've got. You could learn an instrument, you could take a cooking class, you might have an art class of some kind that you would like to take. That is learning new hobbies, taking classes. Maybe you want to take up pickleball. That could be something that you decide to do. I'm going to give you a really good tip that was given to me for pickleball is not only when you want to learn to play pickleball, but then you need people to play with. So one of the best tips that I was given on that is take a course in the community ed. And then if you're taking a beginner course in community ed, guess who else is in the class? Probably people from your community and people that are at the same exact level as you are. So then you suddenly, by doing that class, have a whole group of people that you could end up playing with as time goes on. So that's just a little pointer tip I thought I would give you for any of you that are thinking about taking up pickleball. It seems to be all the rage. And then read and learn new information. So one of my things that I love to do, and I love doing it with my husband, so it's something that we do enjoy together. We're both big documentary people, so we watch all kinds of different documentaries in addition to, movies or shows. We love learning new things, and we love watching documentaries on a wide range of subjects. And I really encourage you to do that. We did that with our daughter when she was living at home the whole time growing up. And so she learned a lot of things that a lot of her other classmates had no idea about. And it allows you, by learning new things and watching different documentaries, you also engage or enhance your conversational skills, because a lot of those things that you're learning end up coming up in different conversations, and then you have some knowledge about a variety of things that you didn't have before. Another type of personal growth is spiritual growth, and so that might be aligning your personal beliefs and values Engage in practice that fosters inner peace, like prayer, meditation, gratitude, and connecting with your spiritual community. So that might be a way to enhance that. Social awareness is understanding social issues and community dynamics, volunteering at a community center of some sort, and maybe get involved in activism. Before this year, I can honestly say that I had not really ever participated in a protest. That's not entirely true, but not on the regular, and not where it felt like so much was at stake. And so we have participated in almost all of the organized protests that have happened within our community, and it's been really great. It's made me feel really good about it. I've seen and ran into lots of people at these different protests, and that has felt really good. It feels like our little small community is standing up for something, and that's really awesome too. And it makes you feel that you're part of the bigger picture. So I know that that's been pretty awesome. The next one is work on your relationships. We're going to have a whole segment on relationships, but that could be personal growth. Obviously, your health and wellness, which we've already talked about. Personal growth could also be new career opportunities. So when you set business goals, it might be for the business that you're currently in, but maybe your personal growth, you're like, you know what? I really want to maybe go in a whole new direction. And maybe you want to go back to school. Maybe you want to learn a particular vocation. Maybe you just want to try your hand at something that you've never done before. I remember one of my podcast guests that I had on my show. She had been an anesthesiologist for like 30 years. And that was her entire career. That's what she had done. And then during COVID, she had already been considering retiring, and then things became really, really hard in COVID, as you're all aware of, especially for doctors. It was an insane time. It was a scary time. And so she decided that that was the perfect time for her to retire. And then she decided, okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? That is something I've kind of always thought about, never pursued because she had been a doctor, but she became a stand-up comedian. And I just thought, wow, after 30 years of being an anesthesiologist, she decides to go in a completely different direction and becomes a stand-up comedian. How awesome is that? That's what learning new career opportunities could mean for you. Or that's just an example. That was very inspirational for me. I was like, wow. I've been kicking around some little crazy out of the box ideas for myself, and we'll see if I pursue those. But I've been thinking about it. So I'm not even going to share what they are because they are crazy out of the box for me. The next one is increasing your financial literacy. I'm hoping as we continue talking about money and talking about different things that we're going to be teaching you some things on that. But you can't put your head in the sand about your finances. So you have to learn about them. If it's not something you were ever taught growing up, you can't just expect that suddenly you're going to know everything about your finances. And it's an important piece of really planning for your entire future, is having some financial literacy. It is super important. I think that I did along the way, but now that I'm at the age that I am, I think I should have been given a little bit better advice, say from my accountant and from my lawyer. Like, there's certain things that I don't think people were super paying attention to, and because I wasn't, and I was counting on them to kind of lean me in that direction, I'm going to have lots of things to share with you that now that I am where I am, I wish I was a little bit further ahead than I am at this point, which I'm probably a lot further ahead than most people. So it is important. I would have done things just slightly differently. And you can't go back. You can only go forward. But if you can learn those things now and learn what you should be doing now, then that's going to serve you well into the future. The other one is self-awareness and reflection. And it is really important that you are able to look at yourself and identify your own strengths and weaknesses. Strengths and weaknesses is an important part of personal growth. And there's lots of different things out there. Strength Wheel, there's a whole book written on your strengths, and one of Strengths Finders, for example. And one of the things that I have learned about strengths and weaknesses is most people think I should work on my weaknesses. That is where I should put my energy into. And that's uncomfortable for a lot of people, or they don't even want to admit what their weaknesses are. And so the very first thing is understanding where your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. And you should put more of your energy into your strengths, because that's going to make the life much more enjoyable. When you know you're good at something, lean into that and do more of it. That is what you should be doing instead of fighting against that flow. And then you gradually just work on some of those weaknesses. Because when we put the focus on the weakness, that doesn't make us feel really good about ourselves. And then we feel like we're kind of always floundering a little bit, or we're just not good enough. And you don't ever want to feel that way about yourself. You want to feel great about yourself. So lean into your strengths, identify those, identify your weaknesses, and know this is what it is. And then you can just gradually work on that as you are going about doing your life. I know for me, that is, I think, a strength that I've always had, is being able to look at myself honestly and identify what I'm good at, know what I'm not good at, and then lean into what is really good, and then what do I want to fix. I'm going to give you a really good example of this. I love consulting with companies. Like, that's something I've done over the years. I don't like personal coaching, and I get asked to do it all the time. Would you be my personal coach? Do you do personal coaching? And at the very beginning of my career, I did it a little, even though I didn't feel good about it. And then I didn't like it. I didn't like just kind of babysitting somebody or having them show up every week, and every week they wouldn't have done what we said to do. And I realized very quickly, I don't have the patience for this. If you're not going to do what I tell you to do, then, or what I'm suggesting you do, then what are we wasting our time for? I mean, that's kind of how I'm wired, right? And I learned that about myself very early on. And so I just said, I'll learn how to be a better coach just when I'm talking to people, like to be a better listener, to ask them questions, right? But I'm like, I'm not taking people's money. I don't feel good about it in something I'm not really enjoying or don't like doing. So I made that decision many, many years ago. I'll do consulting, and I love doing business consulting, which is kind of like coaching, but it's more on a business level. And we can look at analytics and KPIs, and we can look at the marketing team. It isn't one person. I've got a whole team that I'm working with to say, okay, here's sales, here's marketing, here is operations. Like, what are we doing here to improve the overall company, their growth, their income, like all of that. But for an individual who I'm like, okay, let's talk about where you're at, and let's go next week. Now you should have this, this, and this done. I would give people like challenges. And then the next week they'd be like, oh, I didn't have time to do that. Or I don't know what's wrong with me. It's just so hard. And I would just be like, oh my goodness, I cannot do this. This is not me. So I understood that really early on, and I didn't take people's money. So they would say, would you be my coach? I'm like, no, I'm so sorry. I've got a couple people I'd love to recommend to you, but personal coaching is just not, it's not my strength. And I wouldn't feel like, they're like, no, I would love it if you do it. I'm like, I know, but I wouldn't. So when I was going through my divorce, I really felt in that, and we will be talking more about this as we go along, but that for me, that it made me feel like a real failure on a certain level, until I could like actually understand and identify everything that was happening. But initially, I just felt like, how could I be failing at this? And that was very bothersome to me. And so when I decided I'm going to a therapist because I want to be able to get through all these feelings that I'm having, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, um, you probably more than any person like that I have worked with, like you're able to see what where you've fallen down, where you're really strong. You're able to look at yourself and see it all. And not a lot of people are able to do that. It's a great attribute. And she just went on and gave me lots of advice, which a lot of times therapists don't. They make you come to your own conclusions, but she was pretty awesome. And I was just like every week so down in the dumps. And finally, on one of our latter appointments, she goes, "Oh my gosh," because she had asked me, she said, "Do you have anything you can give me to read of yours?" And at the time, we published a magazine. I did it was every other month magazine with in between newsletters. That's what we used to do and send out, mail out. And we had like 4,000 subscribers to that. And so I said, "Well, I've got some of my magazines where I write an article in there, and then there's other people I've interviewed." And so she was like, "Okay." So I brought her a whole stack of my magazines, and her daughter had been ill, and so she had been sitting in the hospital with her like hours on end. And then one of our next sessions, she said, "Oh my gosh, those magazines were awesome, and your work was awesome, and I think you should go home and read your own stuff. Seriously." She didn't say stuff. But she was like, "What is wrong with you? Like you are such you have such amazing advice to give to people, and like what is wrong with you? Take your own damn advice. Like come on, girl." So I walked out of that session going, "Okay." I don't know, it was like a switch that went on, and I was like, from then on, I was okay. So that is self-awareness is important in your journey of personal growth, and it's something you always want to be growing in and to be able to take a look at. So I was trying really hard to make this 15 minutes today, so we did 20. So we'll keep working at it and we'll get it down, but I do think personal stories are important for you to just kind of put it all together. So I hope that this was helpful in you making your choices in where you want to grow in your life this year. So if you like what you heard today, I hope that you will subscribe and like it. And that shows us some love there if you like it. And then if you know of somebody that needs some help in this area, sharing this with them is always appreciated. So thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.